welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about hobbies and passions. I've been thinking recently about all of the different hobbies and stuff that I do, and I do quite a lot. So back a couple of years ago when I was going through really bad depression, one of the things that people would constantly say to me is, oh, you just need a hobby, or you need something to like take your mind off things. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I need a hobby to take up my time so I'm not sat there just thinking about how depressed I am. Now I've kind of moved past that stage in my life, and I've now got like 70 billion hobbies going on at the same time, and people are telling me that I'm doing too much, that I need to rest more, that I need to take some time out. And I think it's a misconception between what is a passion and a hobby and what people see as you working. A lot of the time, some of my passions and my hobbies can appear like I am working, when in actual fact it doesn't really feel like work, because I'm just doing what makes me happy and that I enjoy. So what do you say to those people who tell you that you are doing too many hobbies at once? You tell them to back off and leave you alone. That's what I would suggest, basically. So when it comes to hobbies and passions in life, I have a few. I have done crochet, crafty kind of things, photography, film photography, watercolor painting, typography and calligraphy, drawing. I think I've done some stuff of as well, like sketching, pencil sketches and stuff like that. So I've tried a lot of different things, and most of the time I am self-taught. I don't do courses in anything. I don't like pay for online teaching or anything like that. I literally go onto Pinterest, I go onto YouTube, and I find out how to do all this stuff for myself, and then I try it out. And it's okay to try stuff. I think sometimes people will be like, oh, I've seen that you're doing painting, for example, and is that what you're going to do now? And they assume that your passion will become your career, when it doesn't have to be. It can literally just be a passion that's on the side. So I work from 9 to 5. I work in a social media, SEO, digital marketing agency, and I love doing it, and I like going to work, and I like doing the work that I do during that 9 to 5. But then when I go home, I do the stuff that I am passionate about and that I can be really creative and I have a bit more free reign with. And that's fine. You don't have to like take up watercolor painting and automatically everyone has to label you as a watercolor painter and you have to just do that for the rest of your life and that's what you do because that's your passion. It doesn't have to be that way. You can have 70 billion passions if you want to. If that what makes you happy, then fine. Go ahead and do all of those things. I will say, as a little disclaimer, it is important also to pay attention to how much stress you're actually putting on yourself. So for example, I am one of those people that will literally go full steam ahead, get stuck into it, don't think about the consequences, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to a point where, because my mental health is still recovering from being a little bit delicate, I have to be careful about how much pressure and how much stress I put on myself. So for example, yesterday, I just crashed completely because I was doing so much through the week. I went snowboarding, I did freelance work, I did loads of watercolor painting. I was at work, so I wake up at 6, I get the train, I don't come home till 7:30 because I go to the gym after I've been to work. So it got to a point where I'd literally just burnt out. And I think it's important to have these passions and literally do everything you want to do, but also pay attention to how much stress you're putting on your body, how much energy you have. If you don't have a lot of energy, but you really want to do something, like you want to draw something or you want to go out and you want to go on a hike, then just plan it a few days in advance. And then if you get to that day and you just think, I have no energy to do this, it's okay to not do it. Don't feel like because you've made this plan and you've been like, right, today I'm going to do this, and when I get home from work I'm going to do this. You don't have to do it. No one is forcing you to do it. That's the best thing about having passions and hobbies, is that you have complete control over when you do it, how much of it you do. Don't let anybody dictate to you or try and make you feel like you should be doing more, because that's not up to them, it's up to you. So everything I do is self-taught. So I'm gonna put some links below of the places that I kind of find out how to do stuff. For example, photography, I find is best to watch YouTube videos when it comes to things like editing and stuff like that. So more technical things I will look at YouTube for. I will learn off YouTube, or I will go on free course sites like Skillshare or Udemy And I'll put all those links down below because they have really good free courses that you can use if you wanted to do stuff like that. That's also good for things like learning how to paint or learning how to do typography, all of that good stuff. So tutorials and actually visually watching what people are doing is always a good way for me to learn how to do these things. But again, I don't commit to stuff 100% because it might be a case of things just don't fit with you. So you might have a passion for something, or you might have an interest in something. For example, I used to play guitar. So I learned how to play guitar. I was a massive Beatles fan, still am. And I wanted to know how to play Beatles songs on guitar, and Oasis as well. I learnt most of the Oasis back catalogue. So I wanted to learn how to play these songs on guitar. So my dad bought me a cheap guitar. My brother had like acoustic songbooks that I could use. And I would go on YouTube, or I would use apps and stuff that showed you where the chords are and where to put your fingers and stuff like that. And it was something that I enjoyed doing. I loved doing it. I love music, and it was something I was really interested in when I was in school. So I decided to do that, but I just didn't have the same drive and passion as I do for other hobbies that I have right now. And that's okay. So I learned how to play guitar, and I learned it a couple of chords, and I could play the songs that I wanted to play, and I can still do it. Obviously I don't have the calluses on my fingers anymore, so it's a little bit painful. I can still do it if I wanted to do it. I still enjoy it when I do it, but it's not something that I had a passion to then pursue in the future. And it's okay to have these hobbies where you try them out for a bit and you love them, but you just don't feel that connection or commitment that you would do to other hobbies. In that case, you can move on to something else, and it's not a big deal. You don't have to feel like you failed at doing that thing. You don't have to master everything that you do. So I was a perfectionist in the beginning. So I was like, I'm going to learn guitar, I'm going to learn it to the best of my ability, and then I'll learn piano, and then I'll learn how to play the drums, and then I'll be like a one-man band. Everything will be amazing and wonderful, and I'll be like Jimi Hendrix. In reality, I didn't have that passion and that drive to be able to go that far with that passion that I had. Fast forward to today, and I have, I would say, maybe 2 to 3 main passions and hobbies that I have that I still have this drive for, and that I still have this passion to learn more about and to delve deeper into. So those things are watercolor, which I started last year. I've always done a bit of painting, a bit of drawing. I've always been quite arty and creative. So that was something I decided to pick up, and it turns out I have quite a knack for it. I find it quite easy, quite effortless to do, and I enjoy learning different techniques and how to implement them into what I'm already doing. So for example, at the moment I'm doing a lot of galaxy scenes, a lot of like space and sky scenes, landscape kind of things, because I've learned how to do those techniques, and it's something that I practice, and then I kind of join all of those skills together to create different pieces of artwork. And I'm interested in carrying on learning this stuff. I feel like I said that really weird, carrying on. So I want to learn more. I want to learn the different techniques, and that's the difference between having a passion that can go the distance and having a passion that you've tried and you just think, nah, not really for me. You've not failed at it. It's just that it didn't meld with who you are and who your passions are? That makes no sense. What your passions are at this moment in time. And obviously as you age, it gets different, and you get interested in different things, and your interests change, and how much free time you have changes. So it's okay for things to get pushed aside and you to move on to something new. Again, it could be a fact of you've tried something in the past and you thought, nah, it's not really for me, and then you rediscover it in the future. I actually went to university. I did 3 years at the University of South Wales, and I graduated with a BA honours in film and video production. At the time when I was doing that course, because it was so regimented, because it was so educational and academic, I hated it. I had had this passion before I went to university of filmmaking and watching behind the scenes of my favourite films and seeing how they were made, how actors like interacted with the crew and stuff like that. And I'd had this interest, and then I'd gone and I'd done it as like a professional thing, because I was like, I have this passion, I need to make it like my career, because that's what people tell you to do. Like, you know, if you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life, or whatever that quote is. But in actual fact, because I'd done that, it made me just lose all interest in it. And I was like, I do not care about how you make this film. I literally just want to go to the student bar, I want to get drunk, and I want to forget that I have this assignment to hand in tomorrow. So it took all that fun out of it for me, because there was no freedom, there was no creativity in it. And because now I'm not forcing myself to do it academically or as a career, I feel like I have more freedom and more passion to learn a bit more about it, which is why I started doing YouTube again. Because this is a great way to practice those skills and get involved, get hands-on, and actually learn stuff. If you have had a hobby when you were really young, why not try it again? See if it sticks with who you are now. It might have not fitted you back then. So when I was 18, I was thinking, I want to go off and I want to become a filmmaker. That idea and that passion I had at the time just didn't fit with who I was and what I was doing, what I was interested in at the time. But now I'm older, now I have different interests, different passions. I love to travel, I love to snowboard, and I love the travel films, extreme sport films and stuff like that. So it's all come together and melded into one. So passion and hobbies, you can turn them into a career if you wanted to. Will I become a professional filmmaker making films? I don't know. I don't know whether that would fit well with me, because I enjoy having that creative freedom, that flexibility to do whatever I want to do. And so it might not become a career, and that's okay as well. You have free time where you can do stuff. You don't have to spend that free time thinking about self-care and making sure that you're chill and you're relaxed all the time and everything is fine and you're not working and blah, blah, blah. People may, from the outside, think that you're working hard on some project or something, but in actual fact, you're just enjoying life. You're just doing what you love to do. And if you make money from it, awesome. If you don't, who cares? Nobody cares. It's up to you what you do. So that is pretty much all I have to say about passion and hobbies. If you have something that you are really interested in at the moment, you're obsessed with it, where you're Pinteresting things and you're watching YouTube videos, and someone is putting pressure on you to like get committed 100%, just ignore them. Chill out. Go and find another passion. It's fine. The world's not going to end. You haven't failed. You are fine. So that is everything. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe. Also, if you haven't checked out my China trek video, then please go and check that out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will be trekking the Great Wall of China in October this year, and I am desperately trying to raise enough funds for me to qualify to go. And all of your donations will go towards the Mental Health Foundation. So if you would like to check that out, I will put the link to the video down below, and I'll also put the link to my Just Giving page down there as well. That is all. Thank you. Remember to give this a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye. Thank you. Goodbye.